Hi, welcome back to the Living Room Bookstore and Cafe. I'm Kelly Casey, and I'm coming to you from my office, not actually inside. Well, the office is inside the bookstore, but I'm not. So, hence my Buddha picture. Um, so it's good to be with you again. I had been starting to read what I called first page recommendations, where I would take books and just read the first page, which I really enjoyed doing. That was a lot of fun. Turns out that there's a whole copyright issue with doing that. I'm not allowed to record readings of these books, even though I'm promoting them. That doesn't matter. So unfortunately, but what I am doing is there are some really good local authors that I'm able to reach out and actually get their permission to read their books and to record my readings of their books to help share those books with you. So hopefully you'll come into the Living Room Bookstore and Cafe. We're located in the marina in Puerto Vallarta, and pick up a book or two. So this is one of the books. This is a really exciting book for me to be able to share with you. It's called Puerto Vallarta, My Memories. This is the second edition. It was originally written by Catalina Montes de Oca de Contreras. And let me first apologize because I am going to butcher some of the names and words in this book. I do not have the Spanish accent down. I don't even have the Spanish language down. Language apparently is not my strong suit, so who knew? Um, but let me go ahead and read part of this to you. This is a fascinating tale. It's her journey coming to Puerto Vallarta and watching the town grow. And as many of us transplants here, people that have found Puerto Vallarta from all over the world and are fascinated by the history and the beauty of this location here in Mexico. So this is on page 35 and starts with My Arrival to Las Penas, 1918. Before I start, Las Penas was the original name for Puerto Vallarta. So, and this goes into the history of that. So if you're interested in learning the names, of this area around here and why some of the names came to be, definitely pick up this book. It'll explain that to you. My Arrival to Las Penas, 1918. We arrived at midnight on May 12, 1918, only to find out the port was closed. The head of customs could not do a routine inspection on our ship until the following morning. Okay, side note. How many of us does that sound familiar? When you get into the airport here and customs office is closed, and it's like, what? Wait, what? I don't know. I don't know if that happens as much as they kind of have somebody here 24/7 now, but I can relate to her wonderment on this. Okay, continuing on. In the beginning, when the captain informed us of the delay, I was so upset I felt I was going to faint. Still, finally, I got used to the idea of sleeping on board one more night. I was trying to rock myself to sleep with the melodic sound of waves when I heard a voice prompting us to get off the boat, to jump onto the canoes brought from shore. I was so excited that I forgot my seasickness altogether and was the first one to jump in. My husband introduced me to a smiling young man who sat next to me on the canoe. His name was Eduardo Guzman, a good friend of my husband. Thanks to him, he was inspected in the early morning hours of the morning. We were inspected in the early hours of the morning by the head of customs, Senor Manuel Moron. The ocean was agitated. Waves were high and broke loudly on shore. The sailors said we had to wait patiently in the canoe for the silent wave, which would allow us to glide onto shore. We disembarked as they called the pier, but there was no such, at the same beach where Hotel Rosita is at present. A group of people, friends of my husband's, welcomed us. He introduced me to all of them in the dark because I could not see their faces. It was dawn, and people in the community were still sleeping. Our friends took us to our home. There was no electricity, and we could barely see where I walked. There was no electricity, and I could hardly see where I walked. This is how I first saw my new home. When entering the house, the light of oil lamps placed all over the house blinded me. When my eyes finally got used to the light, the first thing I saw was a beautiful table set up with a long white tablecloth and full of delicious food. I was delighted, feeling I had reached paradise. We were starving and had a feast. After not eating anything since our boat trip, I had only a vague memory of eating mochamos? Sorry, I told you I was going to butcher some of this. Seasickness and throwing up. That I get. Merceditas Topete, the wife of my husband's uncle, Rafael Contreras, had made a special trip from Mascota to prepare all the food lovingly to welcome the newlyweds. By the light of the oil lamps, I was finally able to see all the faces of people introduced to me. The names of the people I met that morning, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to say these names. I'm so sorry. You'll have to read the book. I'm sure you can say it better than I do, but I don't want to disrespect them or the memory of them by butchering their names. So let me start that again. By the light of the oil lamps, I was finally able to see all the faces of the people introduced to me. All these people had moved to Vallarta from different areas and formed the community. When our company left, my husband and I were exhausted and went to sleep right away. It's interesting to think that Catalina arrived over 100 years ago, and this is her memories, her book, her history, which is really, really fabulous. So this book is available here in the living room. It's the first time in the English edition, and it's 400 pesos, so please come in and grab this book. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in your home for your guests to learn about the history of Puerto Vallarta, and for all of us that are just, fascinating with this beautiful place we live. I mean, it's filled with historic pictures and names. As I said, they're names of people that we can see now, how different places got their names. So thank you for joining me. I'm very excited to share this with you, and there are other books that I look forward to sharing with you as well. Take care and have a very, very wonderful 2022. The energy feels very different as we're going into this new year, and I'm excited. I think you're excited. Do you feel excited? I'm excited. I think we're finally going to see the difference and be the difference. So thank you, and we'll see you in the living room. Bye.